this overhead. Here's my bowl. I'll be putting it in. But with slime glue, right? That's if you've ever made slime, chances are good that you made a glue-based slime. There are quite a few different recipes out there for slime. And so this white glue is the most common kind that's out there. But I have to say that I really like making it with clear glue, because then it makes the slime clear and transparent, which I think is awesome. So I was excited to make clear glue slime with you, and then I reach in the cabinet to grab it, and look how much is left. There's like barely any. So that doesn't mean we're not going to make it. It just means we're going to make a little bit of this. And then if we want to make more, of course, we have plenty of glue. Okay. So this is going to be our starting point, is that you just put in as much glue as you want. And if you want to go hog wild and get a huge thing of glue because you want to make a whole bunch of slime, you can totally do that. Alright, so glue, as you know, if you've ever worked with glue, most of us have. Unless you are working with stick glue or something like that, glue has specifically been formulated to be a liquid. And that is truly just out of convenience. So if it's a liquid, then you can spread it around more easily. You can put it where you want it, essentially. So the companies that first started making adhesives and just essentially getting things to stick together, which in itself is a whole subfield of chemistry. There are companies and people that are obsessed with this whole idea of getting two things to stick to one another. Think about it. There are some things that are really difficult to get to stick to something else, right? In fact, I was just yesterday, I was at a drive-through. I was at a drive-through window, and it was a brick building. And there was a sign that had been pasted up on the side of this brick building. Can you tell I'm just chatting? Well, I should call this category just chatting, because it's definitely just chatting. So, I just want to empty this bottle. Anyway, so I'm in line at this drive-thru. It's a brick building, and there is a sign that has been adhered to the brick. And I think probably because I'm a chemist, I looked at that and I was like, how did they get that sign? Because it looked like kind of paper, maybe thin plastic sign or something. Like, how did they get that to stick to the brick? And then I looked more closely, and there was a little advertisement, little promotional sentence at the bottom that said, like brick stick or something. So they had specifically had this sign made by a company that specialized in getting signs to stick to brick. Alright, so it's a thing. It's a thing that most of us don't even think about. Have you ever used super glue to get something to stick together and then it didn't? Yeah, I have too. And that's part of it, that super glue is great for a lot of things, but not for everything. So, with all that being said, okay, look, there's some glue in here. This is the goal of these companies, is that the glue starts out as a liquid. It's very thick liquid, which is actually nice, because if it was too watery, then it might just, like pour over the side of the object you want to stick, and it might not work well. So, it being viscous is actually a really good thing. And then the goal is you want these molecules to then become to harden, okay? To then attract each other even more strongly over time, so that they will then be dry and stick and not slide around anymore like they do when they are liquid. Okay, so let's think about the molecules that are in here, that are in this glue. These are long molecules, and they do, in terms of intermolecular forces, they are attracting each other. Okay, so my hands, here's one like glue molecule, then when it's still liquid, and here's another one. Okay, so these glue molecules, they're sliding around each other, right? Like this. They're interacting fairly strongly, but they are still swimming around like a liquid, okay? And what we want to happen is that as this liquid is I want to say released, as it interacts with air and begins to dry out, then it begins to come together and bond together and then become a solid. Okay? And then your glue has dried, and then everything is stuck together. It's sticking to one side, it's sticking to the other, it's sticking to itself, and then you have your adhesion happening. Okay? Now, when we're making slime, we do not want that to happen. We want it to stay ooey and gooey, and so that we can still play with it, right? But we can't just do that with glue as it is right now, because it's going to dry on our hands and it's going to get sticky, and that doesn't feel good. I mean, unless you like sticky feeling. But if you want that smooth, slimy feeling, then what we want to have happen is something called cross-linking. Okay, so cross-linking is, so here's one glue molecule, it's one hand. Here's another glue molecule, it's the other. And what we want with cross-linking is for there to be a bond that is created from one to another, and then maybe there's here, I'll make another cross-link here. There's a cross-link. So now it's still kind of a liquid, okay, but it doesn't have the stickiness. We have changed the chemical properties of those glue molecules. Okay, so in order to do that, and in order to cause these little cross links that I'm showing with my fingers, we need something. We need an activator to do that. There's several different kinds of activators, but I'm going to show you my favorite. And it is a detergent. All right, here it is. By the way, I am not a proponent of this brand. I'm not endorsing them. I'm just telling you that it works. I don't know why this particular brand and type of detergent works, but it does. It works like a charm. Okay? So it is Tide, and it is specifically, it is not regular Tide. I think Tide, the normal, regular, I don't know, is orange bottle. this is a white bottle, and it is the one that's designated as free and gentle. So it has no dyes, no perfumes, and so I don't know if it's the other stuff that's in the regular Tide that gets in the way. I'm not sure. And then also, I did a full-on experiment with all sorts of different brands, different types. There's a brand that is, what's it called? Natural. It's one of those more natural ones, 7th generation, I think. So I tried theirs because I thought, okay, Tide Free and Clear, or free and gentle. So maybe it's the more natural kind works better. So I tried that. I tried Arm & Hammer and maybe anyway, just a bunch of brands to test them to see which ones would work. And most of them did not work at all. They just made the glue kind of foamy. A couple of them worked okay. Like the regular kind of Tide worked okay. But this one is superior. So let me show you. All right, so